Visit knowhowtogo.org to learn what you should be doing right now to prepare for college. Start taking the steps at knowhowtogo.org.
I've got what it takes. So do you.
Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation, and the Ad Council.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Wrestling Wednesday right here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. This is the To Be Determined show. Ladies and gentlemen, coming live and loud from everywhere across the world, we have every corner of this great globe covered. Tonight, from Birmingham, Alabama, the Magic City, we have the Magic City Motor Mouth himself, Fast Eddie Lane. Eddie, how you doing tonight?
It's not crazy enough that she wants to bet me over dinner now. She wants to bet me over drinks? I mean, please, come on.
Lord. And, of course, from hot Atlanta, GA, The Walking Dead, right in his backyard, Corey Smark Rage. Corey, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm great. I'm waiting for Casey Carlisle to call me back. Me and her are going to go to drinks. I heard she likes to, heard something to her about being a cheap drunk. I don't know. You know how those rumors get started.
And from Nash Vegas, you know her as the champ, my big sis, former NWA Women's World Champion. Once again, it's 2 weeks in a row. She's back for good now, everybody. Tasha Simone.
It doesn't matter how heated I get, and you don't even have to save this for professional wrestling. You see this a lot with UFC now as well, particularly in the recent Diaz-St. Pierre fight. If you're sitting down and you're having contract signings or you're having confrontations or promos, whatever you're doing, if you give those people everything they want before the big stage, why would they want to waste their money on the big stage? This is a business. It's not just a sport. This is a business. And if the athletes don't treat it as a business, they're always going to be broke bitches.
And there you go. That is Tasha's philosophy on getting around the no touching policy, no touching clause that usually happens before a great match or a huge match.
That don't mean I won't smack a hoe.
But most times they're like, okay, you guys can't touch or you're fired. So we just wanted to know your way around it because of this question and answer, which I was not a fan of. Fast Eddie Lane was so kind to get a clip, which we will play later on. Tonight at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time, we rescheduled him. We are scheduled to be joined by So Fine Frankie Valentine. We have talked to Frankie. Frankie is confirmed. He apologizes. Last week he fell asleep. That's what happens when you wrestle 5 nights a week and actually have a shoot job as Frankie does. Frankie's grown up in this business, so this just isn't just somebody like, hey, So we understand completely, and tonight we will ask him about UIW's redemption and what took place between him and the local scene Josh Storm family. As they called themselves First Family, turning on each other. I mean, this is just something. But we're going to jump right into it. The internet darling, what the fans want and what they crave. Ladies and gentlemen, from Hot Atlanta, the one that segment, the Smarks Rage. Corey, what are you raging about this week, sir?
Well, I'm raging about everything WWE. First of all, did anybody... Eddie, you got that clip that I asked you to pull for me?
Yep.
Our producer, Fast Eddie Lane, y'all. Give it up for him.
He doesn't sound so fast right now.
He's a superb. Eddie Lane is a superb. Matt, thank you for having my back today. Matt loves me.
Not a problem. I'd smack him, but I can't smack my computer screen, so...
Yeah, you can. You'll just hurt your screen in your hand at the same damn time.
And that clip
is right here.
Great Khali. Khali had it up, and great Khali, the former world champion, trying to fight off all 3 members of the Shield. Oh, well, he was doing a pretty good job of it. But again, they're like a swarm of hornets. They went after Khali's legs. They got him down, and you're right. Oh, no, wait a minute. Come here, wait a minute. Oh, you got to be kidding me. They're not going to try this. They're going to try this with Khali. Great Khali off his feet. Roman Reigns and company. Oh, no. Triple powerbomb. Oh, man. Talk about impressive. How do you slow the Shield?
Go ahead.
And there you go, Monday night. The Shield comes out and picks up that 7'5" or 6 or 7 supposed monster, and they triple powerbomb this guy in the middle of that 20 by 20 ring. And he rolls out of the fucking out of the ring onto the floor. He absolutely, any build-up that the Shield had as far as any of their heat was taken away Monday night by the great Khali no-selling that triple power bomb. Now, I know if somebody picked my big 6 foot, 372.5 pound ass off and laid me out in the middle of the ring, I'd be laid out. That happened when I was at PCW when big 6'8", 400-pound Jeter knocked me out. Now, guys, the idea in pro wrestling, I've seen this happen so many times. I saw this here in Atlanta, and we were talking about this before the show started. And Wick, you were there, or you were in the vicinity where Call Like a Bomb Pandora picked up a female manager and
Valet.
a valet picked her up and dropped her on her head, and she stood up. And the girl was 107 pounds soaking wet. And it just absolutely killed the mystique of pro wrestling. And part of my rage tonight is, why is the Great Khali getting a check from the WWE, and where is the respect for people in this business that claim to be pro wrestlers? You know, you see these guys get on here, get on social media and talk how tough they are, talk how Billy Badass they are, and they don't get booked anywhere. You know, or they get booked once a month, and they think, well, just because I could afford a pair of boots, and because I paid somebody $37 for some training, for some training per training session, and I got booked on an outlaw show, as Wicked Nemesis calls them, they get to play a wrestler. Where were the days of guys like Bob Backlund, guys like Dirty Dick Murdoch, people like Tasha Simone that respected the business, that don't play wrestler, that eat, sleep, breathe, talk about it, be about it, are about it? Where are these guys at? Now, Tasha, I'm going to kick this over to you and get your thoughts. You know, you see a lot of people playing wrestler when they should probably be buying a ticket, not to take that term from somebody. What are your thoughts?
I say this all the time. This is something, even before you started doing your rage, Corey, I don't know how much you listen to the show, hopefully every Wednesday night, but this is something that the guys can tell you I complained about a lot, and I continually complain about it. Professional wrestling has no respect left. I mean, that society as a whole, there's no respect. But the way I was trained in professional wrestling, the F word was never used when I was taught to wrestle. The F word being fake. Because what we do is not fake. What we do can really use the other F word. It can really fuck you up. So many of these people go, and it's just too accessible. If you have a computer and a credit card, you can be any champion you want to be with no training. You can buy a pair of boots. You can buy tights. It doesn't matter. And half of these guys don't even have the common sense to buy tights. And then you get in the ring with somebody like me, or Dick Murdoch, or Dick Slater when he was still wrestling, Manny Fernandez, David Cash, who is a good friend of mine, is a prime example. You get in the ring with somebody like us, we're going to beat the shit out of you. We're not going to pull your hair out. We're not going to leave a chop mark on you. We're going to beat the shit out of you. We're going to break something. And then what happens? The guy that doesn't have any training that will work for free is the guy who still has a job left. The veterans who give a damn about the business, we're the ones who get fired because we beat the free guy up. And I don't feel bad about it. And guys like David Cash don't feel bad about it. And the guys like Manny Fernandez don't feel bad about it. Why? Because we're protecting what we love. Those people have no business in a professional wrestling ring. They need to be outside in the crowd buying the ticket and sitting their ass down watching us do what we were trained to do.
Well, thank you.
Corey, you made mention of why Khali still has a job. The reason why he still has a job in WWE is because he's over 7 foot tall. You can't teach that. The giant persona, the giant man, the freak of nature is always and will always be a part of Carney, as well as which has its roots in professional wrestling. You can't teach his size. Second of all, there's a difference between a guy going out and a giant who we've all talked about, somebody that doesn't know how to sell, and somebody that has it registering, a a giant, a monster that can make you feel sympathy, somebody that can register an offense of a heel, a smaller heel, would be somebody like Kane. Kane is fantastic at that. We all remember the Frankenstein version of Undertaker where he would just go, and he'd get powerbombed and he would sit up. That didn't kill the mystique of any of these people. What happened with Rachel didn't kill the mystique of Calm Like a Bomb Pandora, because Pandora instantly took it upon herself that as soon as they got out of the ring, got to the back, Pandora legitimately started beating her ass. That is the difference. You have to have those people out there. It's all about protecting the business. We talked about this off air, and Tasha said it, and I was agreeing with her 100%. And this is true. What happened with Khali is you have guys who they've never wrestled. Most of them have never taken a bump, and they are putting together a TV production, not a wrestling psychology or wrestling equivalent of a smartened up show. If you want that, there's no wrestling like that. Ring of Honor definitely isn't like that. If Khali gets powerbombed, boom, he gets the triple powerbomb. There was 10 seconds after that they hit the music. Khali's not going to lay in the ring, him being 7 foot plus, and just lay there while Sheamus and Randy Orton make their way to the ring to start fighting with the Shield. He had to get out of the way. But once again, that's somebody that's tall that all of a sudden they're like, Khali, you've been a monster for 5 or 6 years. You've barely bumped, and when somebody's bumped, you've bumped one time and then they pinned you. Now we want you to bump 4 or 5 times a match. That can't happen, especially with somebody that's that freakishly tall. You could do that to somebody like Kane, somebody even Big Show, but somebody Andre or somebody Khali that's that immensely strong and that immensely tall. You can't have somebody that's only bumped once a match and tell them, okay, well now the same stuff that you didn't bump for, you're going to bump for double. Could you see Khali bumping and feeding? I'm sorry. Could you see for those fans? Could you see Khali hitting the mat and immediately getting up and going for another move? No.
No, absolutely not.
Exactly.
Here's the thing about Khali. If they had utilized him here to begin with,
exactly,
like he was used as the monster thing in Mexico and in Japan, we wouldn't be in this situation now saying if what he did was right or wrong. Because when he's in Mexico, when he works in Japan, he is just a wrestler. He is not treated as a freak of nature, even though for all practical intent and purposes, he is. Monsters serve a purpose in professional wrestling. They always have. But a monster not something for another monster, something for what we consider the average person, even if they're 6'6" in the ring with him, they're still not that monster. They're not going to bump the same way they would for somebody of an equal size. And that's the situation. It was just a bad situation all the way around. I didn't see it, but just from you telling me, Khali was in a situation. He did what he had to do. He took the power bomb. But then he was put in a situation where had he not moved, he would have been in the way. Somebody would have stepped on him, somebody would have hit him. He had to take it upon himself to clear the ring for what was about to happen. And it goes back to people who don't know about professional wrestling being inundated into our business instead of letting the people who do know about professional wrestling handle what needs to be done.
Now, what he should have done, my opinion, and Tasha, I want to know your opinion as well, when he took the power bomb, he should have laid there when the music hit, he should have rolled to the apron. He should have rolled to the ropes and laid there. And then who was with the ring with him? He had somebody at the ring with him too, didn't he?
Zack Ryder and Ryder.
And Ryder. They could have helped somewhat.
Well, I've been in a situation, Wicked, I'm sure you've been in a situation too, where you take the bump, you have to get out of the way, but you don't want to make everybody look stupid. I have actually, I think you've seen me do it, I've taken the bump and rolled not only to the side of the ring, but actually rolled off of the side of the ring.
I've only seen you and Pandora do that, though.
Right. 4.5 feet down is not that far. It gets you out of the way, but you're still not making anybody look like shit.
May I?
Yes, sir.
Logical progression on this one. Instead of him rolling himself to the apron, why not go ahead and have, since they've just done the triple power bomb on the biggest guy on the roster, why not go ahead and kick for a couple of seconds and then say, and when Sheamus's music hits, let them roll him out of the way and then do the come on while Sheamus is up on the rampway waiting for Orton to come out. That continues to make the Shield look strong. It continues to basically make Khali sell the power bomb and the punch kick afterwards, and then the minute the cavalry starts to arrive, go ahead and roll him out of the way, get him to the apron, let him finish the fall onto the floor. That doesn't make Khali look any weaker than he already does. That continues the strength of the Shield and also the respect that they're clearing the ring for Sheamus and Orton to start coming on down that way and keep everything going in. Like I said, the logical progression. Agree or disagree?
Disagree. I disagree.
I agree. No, I think that would have been a good idea too. With the way, either way would have been fine. If you're building, I don't know the build-up of the Shield, but if they're making them look that badass, fine, roll them out the way, clean the trash.
Matt,
what
were you going to say? What
I didn't open my mouth.
That
was. Yeah, I agree with Eddie, but I think Eddie was trying to get something in there.
This is what I disagree on. The powerbomb enough is on somebody like that. The sight of them getting Khali's big ass up is enough. Think about it. All Jack did was cut down the tree. The bump was all on the giant, right?
Right.
That would have been enough. What if you wanted them to look like a badass? What they should have done, if you didn't want Khali to do it, have those three big motherfuckers pull him out of the way, or roll him out of the way. With Sheamus and Randy Orton, because come on, 3-on-2. You're not going to hit the ring on 3-on-2 because you've got numbers games and higher ground. They should have had the Shield roll him out of the way and then be like, yeah, come on. And then had them. No, to me, it's too much to punch and kick him afterwards because he just got powerbombed, and that is more than enough.
That's essentially what Eddie was saying, wasn't it?
No, because I was saying because you have to respect the fact that you have just powerbombed. You can't always just stand there and gloat. It's one thing if for the unlucky charms to powerbomb me. Okay, there's no use in punch kick after that because I'm down. I'm 5'8", 240 pounds. You've just done the triple power bomb on somebody 7 foot tall who is basically no-selling the damn thing. Continue the assault for a second until Sheamus's music hits, and it's like, okay, business just picked up. Well, remember also, they've got their attention on Sheamus and Orton when Orton's music hit. Then here comes Big Show from the other side of the ring because remember, Reigns noticed him, but I'm getting a little bit beyond where I wanted to be. If you've just done the triple power bomb to the biggest person on the roster and they're not really selling the damn thing, what's the rule of thumb?
Run.
If you're not selling it, you either run or you make them sell it.
But hold on. Those are 3 rookies to the WWE.
To the WWE,
You don't take those. You do not take those type of opportunities, or what are they called? Those type of
liberties.
Liberties. You don't take those type of liberties with a fucking veteran. Plain and simple.
If creative tells you to, you do.
Well,
creative doesn't
here's
have that.
The bottom line. Creative messed up. It wasn't the guys that messed up this time. It was creative.
Yeah,
and I agree with that.
Do me a favor real quick. Do me a favor real quick before you go to the bottom of the hour break.
Yes, sir.
Everybody over in the chat room, thank you for joining us. Everybody from Awesome BM, Jim Diva, Kay Pruitt, Livewire Unbranded, Mad Madge, Steph. Glad to see everybody over in the chat room tonight. And I'm monitoring the comments. By the way, so far, Wick on the question of the night, Taker Punk so far is getting the biggest build. And I've also asked a backup question. Which match are you least interested in seeing? The poll results so far right now on a runaway is Cena Rock.
Fandango and... Oh, really? Oh, I figured it'd be Fandango and Jericho.
Only one person mentioned that.
Congrats to Fandango using the Alabama Jam. But, ladies and gentlemen, Eddie, if you will.
Yes.
Can you cue up our music, please?
I guess my rage is over then, huh?
Say the phrase.
I guess so, because we're about to hit the break, Corey.
That's my time. That's my rage.
Yes, sir. Now hit my music. Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, baby. How you doing? Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. This is the time when Ted Guinness takes you to that place where your shots, they always bring in the money. We're about to take our first break of the evening.
You know something, though? Rubbing me raw is just like a Rubik's Cube. The more you play with it, the harder it gets.
I can't touch that one.
Don't change that URL. This is the To Be Determined show right here on Beyond Ringside Radio.
Hey everybody, it's Ted Guinness with Beyond Ringside Radio. Here's what's rubbing me raw from last Monday's show. Well, WWE actually did not drop the ball in my opinion this week. Pretty much everything was a solid show from most of the segments. The wrestling was solid. There were a couple things that I really did not like, however. The biggest thing is going to be the setup to the main event of WrestleMania 29. John Cena, The Rock, in a panel discussion. I don't know who thought it was a good idea to have Dusty Rhodes, Booker T, Bret Hart, and Mick Foley there just to, pop the crowd, but they really didn't serve any purpose, and in fact it kind of took away from the whole build-up. It was more like watching a boring presidential debate. It wasn't even that entertaining. It was more like watching paint dry than watching a wrestling segment to build up the biggest main event in WrestleMania history, according to WWE. And the fact that the legends didn't try to get out of their chairs, scramble out of the ring when Cena and The Rock went face-to-face just made it look that much more unbelievable. The other thing I really didn't like is the fact that they set up Fandango to debut at WrestleMania. WrestleMania is not a place to debut stars. WrestleMania is a place to elevate established stars. You have to have been on the roster for a good long time and have actually had to have wrestled maybe on Raw once or twice before actually debuting at WrestleMania. The only good part of that match is that it's going to be Chris Jericho, so at least there's a halfway decent chance that it's going to be somewhat entertaining. However, taking a look at the rest of the show, up and down the card, I did not have a problem with a lot of the extracurricular activities. I like the setup for Caitlyn to take on AJ, or possibly even Caitlyn just to be in Team Hell No's corner. I mean, you got to have Divas on the show, and of course there was the rumored Divas Legends versus Current Divas match that was shot down. So, good to have at least some of the ladies on the show, even though no one really cares about the Divas division anymore anyways. Also, I really like the fact that we have more matches signed. This is going to be probably one of the, I actually hate to say it, one of the more entertaining WrestleManias. The only problem that I've seen is the fact that there has not been a lot of build up until this point. Is it too little too late? Quite possibly. But the fact of the matter is, you've got some of the biggest names in some of the biggest matches. Triple H, Brock Lesnar, Punk, Undertaker, Cena, Rock. But the rest of the undercard, it actually looks like it's stacking up to be a very entertaining show. I think the match that's going to steal the show, quite honestly, is going to be Miz and Wade Barrett. I don't know. I'm not necessarily a big Miz fan, but I think his work has improved since he's returned from his hiatus. And I think that may have been the wake-up call. So, look for Miz and Barrett to have a decent match. Look for Team Hell No and Team Biggie and Ziggy to have an entertaining match. Might we see a last-minute surprise of the cashing in of the Money in the Bank briefcase? Probably not. I do think we're going to see another world champion in Puff the Magic Swagger. Anyway, going to keep it short and sweet this week. I'd like to hear what you have to think about Monday Night Raw. You can send your comments to rubbingmeraw@gmail.com. If I like what I see, I might even use it in an upcoming segment. Quick programming note, I will not be able to do a Rubbing Me Raw next week. For the final show to WrestleMania, I will actually be out of town, but I will be watching, and I will be back in 2 weeks for another segment of Rubbing Me Raw. For Beyond Ringside Radio, I'm Ted Guinness.
I started going cold turkey. Well, at least when I'm in the car.
I know I shouldn't do it, but it's so hard to stop. That's why I hide it from myself, so I won't be tempted.
I used to do it all the time. I stopped by locking it in my glove compartment.
My friend used to do it way too much. Now I turn it off when we're in the car.
My solution is simple. I just don't do it.
There are lots of ways to stop yourself and others from texting and driving. How will you stop? Tell us at stoptextsstopwrecks.org. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Okay, forest animals, kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow, have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. River, how's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man.
I love it. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. Okay. Squirrel.
The forest has been preparing just for you. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
In 50 feet, turn left. Why are you driving so slowly?
After a few drinks, I'm taking it slow.
Well, you're not fooling the cop behind you.
What?
Get ready to pay in 0.1 miles.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hey, Billy, want to go to the state fair?
Yeah!
Well, you can't.
Huh?
Well, you see, Billy, when you throw away money on wasted electricity, you throw away everything you could have done with it. But now your parents are becoming energy efficient. They could save hundreds of dollars a year and take you to the fair next year.
I want to go now.
I know you do. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Energy and the Ad Council.
And that is why you do not smoke blunt.
Ladies and gentlemen, we lost one of our own this week.
Oh shit.
And here at the To Be Determined show, we want to take the opportunity to give our thoughts and prayers. But we'll just let Tasha explain it from here. Tasha, go right ahead, ma'am.
A lot of the people who listen to this show may or may not even know who the Moondogs are. Not the real Moondogs. Larry, Spot, King, Rex, Cujo. All of the original Moondogs are now passed on. Bill Smithson, who was the final of the originals, passed away last week. He was laid to rest on Monday. Their Moondog sister, Moondog Fifi, also known as Ian Von Hoffman, is the only one left now. And I want to send my condolences not only to the families of all of them, but I would ask that anybody who has taken it upon themselves to call themselves any kind of moondog in the rain, for once, and I'm not ranting, I'm not raving, I'm just asking, out of respect, let it go. You're not a moondog. You will never be a moondog. These men were wonderful to me. Diane was wonderful to me. They took a young green kid under their wing because I was tough. And they took care of me, and they respected me. And for once, I'd like to see all of these little twits that think that they're somebody have a little respect for the men and women who went before them. Show some respect for the deceased. And don't be a moondog anymore, because they're gone. Let them go. They got their bones, and they're howling in the yard somewhere.
Tasha, that leads us to a segment that strikes fear in the hearts of the weak. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, the segment that everyone talks about and that the NWA, more especially it seems, really fears. Tasha Simone's own. Tasha knows best. Tasha, what do you know best this week?
Well, let me see. The first thing, since we said the NWA fears me, I'm going to announce, and I hope that it totally shits the plans up. Casey Carlisle's making her way to Texas to wrestle Barbie Hayden soon, and my prediction is that Barbie Hayden will be the new NWA Women's World Champion. That's my prediction. Yes, it is.
You'll make it a
because
stake
she's
bet?
that good? No.
Spoiler alert.
It's not because she's that good. It's because, well, you
She's
know,
better than
cast and couch and all. Now, the really cool part of Tasha Knows Best tonight, for anybody who reads these stupid dirt sheets that I hate, there's this term called getting Johnny aced that's out there. And what that means is...
Hold on. What was your term? Because you totally faded out on that. That was perfect.
Oh, Johnny aced. I'm sorry. I was taking the pinch collar off of my doggy. Y'all have been walking my puppy with me, peeps. The term is called Johnny aced. Does anybody know what that means by any chance?
You get punched in the throat and then you talk like Johnny Ace for the rest of your life.
My name?
Just like Stevie
Yeah,
Richards.
I wish it was that awesome. It's not even that awesome.
My name is Mr. John Laurinaitis, and I'm the president.
John?
I'm the president of the Hair Club for Men.
There you go.
Johnny Ace had a reputation for being a ballless bastard when it came to telling people they no longer had jobs.
Yep.
This past Friday night, I was at NWA Saw in Millersville, Tennessee, for a TV taping, which, by the way, I am not wrestling there. I'm simply a manager. I am, and I choke to say this, I am looked at as eye candy there, managing the headliner, Chris Michaels, that's okay. Me and Chris are friends. It's cool. I do the dirty work outside of the ring. We get the job done. He keeps his belt. 2.5 hours after the show is over, I receive a text message. That's right, peeps, a text message, not even a phone call, because these people don't even want to get my voice. Now, I have to say this before I continue. This has nothing to do with the man who actually owns Saul, which is T.J. Weatherby. T.J. is a wonderful person. He had nothing to do with this, knew nothing about it. The booker, however, who doesn't even deserve for me to use his name on here, texts me and says, I can't use you anymore. I was really upset with you tonight. I said, what did I do? Because I was actually nice for a change. No, I wasn't sick. I was just in a good mood. Wasn't even drinking in the locker room. I was just nice. So I'm in a quandary. Did I call him? No, because I was at a bar drinking, and that would have got really ugly really quick. So I talked to the man the next day. Why was I Johnny Aced? Because me, a licensed permit gun carrier, licensed to carry open or concealed, had my gun, which I have every week in the locker room, with me. Nothing had been said. Nothing has ever been said when I have my gun with me, because I have it with me every week. I have it with me everywhere that I go. This man texts me and says, this is the problem. Not one time did he walk to me in the locker room and say, I'm uncomfortable with you having your gun here for the past several weeks that I've had it there. 2.5 hours after the show, he texts me and says, we're going to have to let you go because you've had a gun. Now, I don't care that they let me go because I'm not a mark for being on TV. I was on live TV when it meant something. But what I do care about is somebody glowing a set and telling me to my face that they don't want to use me and giving me a legitimate reason. And it's not just me. If you're going to fire somebody, have the balls to walk up to their face and say you're fired and give them a legitimate reason. Like the fact that this douchebag that dances to Boogie Woogie Choo Choo Train by Confederate Railroad doesn't like you, that's a more legitimate reason, and that's the reason I really got fired, because a grown-ass man in the locker room's intimidated by me.
Wait,
they still
is that
couldn't even
Corey?
tell me to my face.
You said grown-ass
No.
man.
Oh, right, sorry.
It wasn't Corey.
You said grown-ass man.
Yeah, grown-ass man.
See, Matt,
Not a
He's
famous
grown.
man, just a grown-ass
Wrong way.
man.
Yeah, he is grown. Have you seen
No,
him? He's
no,
grown
no.
sideways.
I'm fat, but I'm not a grown-up.
But my
I did say
Tasha's knows best is this. Promoters, if you want to fire somebody, if you want your booker to fire somebody, tell them to their face. Be professional about it. Seriously, a little bit of respect, a little bit of professionalism goes a long way. I wasn't going to hit anybody. I don't care. I'm not a mark for TV. You don't want to use me, fine. It wasn't like I was wrestling. It wasn't like I was doing anything spectacular. I was standing outside the ring looking cute, which is actually very difficult for me because I want to punch somebody in the throat when I'm out of the ring. But don't text somebody. That's like going to your job, your ham and egger during the day, and your boss deciding they don't like you and texting you when you get home and saying, don't come back anymore, you're fired. This is still a business, and people have lost that business sense and the professionalism to that point, and it's ridiculous. And these little pissant promoters think that they're effing Vince McMahon. You're not. You're still a backyard promotion. It don't matter what your cosmetics look like. Wolfie D said it all. Cosmetics are great, but it's still run like a backyard promotion. And that, people, is what Tasha knows best tonight. Be a man, fire somebody to their face.
Wow. It appears that you have been future endeavored 2.5 hours after an event. All right. Sorry to hear that. It is a horrible way to go out. It sounds very weird, and we hope that everything works out between us, though. But, Tasha, we have to ask you, though, really, how many times did you actually think about using that gun?
Honestly, there is not a single person in that locker room that I would waste a bullet on. Them damn things are too expensive.
No kidding.
Would I take my knife and stick it between their ribs and watch the bitches bleed out? Damn right. But I would not waste a bullet on them because they cost too much.
Amen.
Give me back my bullets. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's a moment in time. Wicked Nemesis quoting freaking Leonard Skinner. I'm amazed.
Woohoo!
What do you tell? I love Leonard Skinner.
I've never heard you even mention Leonard Skinner.
Who the F doesn't love it, Leonard Skinner?
Freebird!
Matt Denton doesn't love it.
Here's your Freebird.
Manchester Matt Denton.
I'm not saying a word. It might tarnish Tasha's opinion of me.
Matt, I love you. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we're scheduled to be joined at the top of the hour by So Fine Frankie Valentine. We will talk to him about the recent events that have occurred at Universal Independent Wrestling and the 500 other events a month, it seems, that he's a part of. But we asked earlier in the night, for those just joining us, what is the bigger build-up? Cena and Rock, or Taker and Punk? It seems Taker and Punk are kind of running away with this. And Eddie also asked, what is the match that you're least looking forward to? 205-316-9900, or you can Skype us Beyond Ringside, one word, or you can send it at the To Be Determined Show, at the TBD Show, or at Fast Eddie Lane, LAYNE, or at Wicked Nemesis on Twitter.
Got a sec?
Yes, sir.
So far, results of the poll question does look like Taker and Punk is the match that's been receiving the biggest build-up so far. Matches people are least interested in seeing include, and this is a runaway, Cena versus Rock definitely in first, Jericho, Fandango, Ryback, Henry, Taker, Punk in the least interested. In the want-to-see category, Swagger Del Rio is running away with it, Taker, Punk second, and Jim Diva has the quote of the night so far, a real women's match is what I really wanted to see.
Woo!
But you guys going to see Caitlyn and AJ.
Oh my God! See, Caitlyn. Nobody takes an ass whooping like a babyface champion, like Caitlyn does. Tasha, I know you hate women's champion. I know you hate the Divas division, the word diva, anything related to diva.
Except,
I know you're not a big fan of Trish Stratus, but Trish Stratus and Lita had a great women's match, and I believe it was 2004 when Trish had the broke nose.
Yep.
How many? You just don't see that anymore. You had Beth Phoenix there, you had Gail Kim there, you've had great talented women there, but I mean, right now Sarah Del Rey actually in the developmental.
No, she's down there. She's training people.
Yeah, they hired Sarah to teach the girls minimal wrestling. Sarah's there to train. She's not there to be on TV. And my bet is, and it's very unfortunate because she's a very talented young woman, but if you ever see her on TV, she will be there. She will be used to build somebody.
Now, they have this, and we've spoken about Glow being at the forefront for the models being trained to wrestle instead of wrestlers actually going out there and doing their craft. The women's division will always be that. No matter if you have that one woman. Natalia can wrestle. We all know that. I think Caitlin's pretty darn good. AJ's pretty good. But what is Snuka's daughter's name? Tamina. You can do something with that. The woman's an Amazon. I think that they should push her more as a monster type that the women's division has had, because I don't know if Karma's coming back. I've heard that they've what did they renew?
They reactivated her trademark.
And maybe she is coming back. Maybe she's not. I hope that Kong has her mental state, because that's really what it is. But women are using the WWE as a springboard. Nobody wants to be Fabulous Moolah. Nobody wants to be Trish Stratus. Nobody wants to be a Lita anymore. There's not those. Everybody wants to become a wrestler and then use it to jump off to something else.
Well, it's because they don't care. We talk about, you talk about the word passion, about being a passionate wrestling fan, being a passionate wrestler. There's somebody who, most of those girls are girls who entered a contest. There's no passion. Maybe they grow in. Is it possible to grow in to being a passionate wrestler? I mean, I would think. Yes. I would either think you either have it or you don't. I mean, you know, it's, as somebody who's been watching wrestling for 30 years to watch the Divas now, it's revolting to watch.
Eddie,
you know,
say something?
Actually, yes, it is very possible to be groomed and to grow, not necessarily be groomed. Bad choice of words on my part. Recently, on a Tuesday night conversation on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network, I had the honor and the privilege of doing a one-on-one interview that went almost an hour with NWA and pro wrestling legend, the Raging Bull, Manny Fernandez. Manny hated pro wrestling before he got in it. He went to West Texas State University, surrounded by everybody from Rhodes, Funk, Mulligan, you name it, he was around them. This man who played football amateur, collegiate, this man who wrestled high school and collegiate, hated the thought of professional wrestling. But Dusty and the rest of the crew got him involved. It's like, dude, come on, give it a shot. When he got back from serving our country in the military, and got him in, got him trained, showed him what it was like, showed him the fun that he could have, and he started to develop the passion for professional wrestling. So, yes, it's possible to take somebody who hates pro wrestling and help them find a passion for it.
But it's a different genre. I mean, all those names that you named, those guys have carved their niche in, take a drink, this business. I mean, who's really mentoring these girls? You know, you've got Rosa Mendez that gets on tout and talks how she's going to whip somebody's ass, and she couldn't whip Matt Denton's ass. Okay,
I'd like to see her try.
She could spank his ass. He wouldn't turn it down.
I mean, you don't say it. It's a different breed. It's a different time. You got guys, and this goes back to what I was saying in the Smarks range. You got guys that were legitimate badasses. Now you've got somebody who wants to play wrestler. Okay? Yeah, I mean, when Trish first came in, you know, she was just nothing but another set of tits and some blonde hair.
And that's being nice.
Do you know the whole story about Trish Stratus?
What's that, Tasha?
Do you know the whole story about Trish Stratus?
She was a fitness model. She was
fetish a model.
A what?
Fetish model as well as fitness model.
Okay, fitness model.
That is correct.
But
Do you know where Trish trained? Do you know where Trish trained? People think that Trish didn't know how to
in the
wrestle
bedroom
with the WWE, which is not true. Angelina Love, Trish Stratus, Gail Kim, and Tracy Brooks all trained together at the same school. When Trish walked in, she walked in with her money. She said, "Teach me to wrestle. I'm going to go to work for Vince McMahon in this number of years. I'm going to make this much money in professional wrestling, and I'm going to get the fuck out." Do you know why I respect Trish Stratus?
She laid out her game plan.
It's not because I think she is a great wrestler. She learned to be a good wrestler with choreography. I can't say that she can or can't follow a match, but with a choreographed match, she does very well, and I give her credit for that. But she laid out her game plan. She did what she had to do. She took her bumps and bruises. She got in, she made her money, and she did get the fuck out. But people don't know that about Trish Stratus unless you ask somebody that trained with her. She came into that school, said, "Here's my money, teach me to wrestle, this is what I'm going to do," and she did it.
Right, but she learned to have that passion. The girls you see now don't have that passion.
But it's not just the girls.
Who is to say that? But who is to say that they don't have that passion? Just because they can't go out and put together a match themselves, call it in the ring, we are nobody to challenge anybody's passion. I'm just saying.
Look at Kelly Kelly. She can't run the ropes. I can run the ropes better than Kelly Kelly.
Probably.
Yeah, but she still went in there and trained. She still got her ass beat.
Look, with all due respect,
I saw Sean Waltman ripped his asshole open doing a Bronco Buster, okay? You ever done a Bronco Buster? Of course your fat ass hasn't ever done a Bronco Buster.
But I'm not a trained wrestler, though.
But he's done a buffet buster. Sorry, man.
Well, yeah. But I'm not a trained wrestler, though. And Scott Hall said the guy fucking moved. The guy fucked the spot. Whoever was on the other end of the receiving of the Bronco Buster, the guy fucking moved.
Well, whoever moved, whoever shot first on Solo, it doesn't matter. The whole fact is this: we are nobody. We are not to question somebody's passion, but you have Dutch Mantell there now, who helped the TNA Knockouts division tremendously, and you have Sarah Del Rey helping out in developmental. Use them, plain and simple. That's what it is. But we're going to wrap this up really quick, so we all hope that there is a good women's match on the WrestleMania card. We also hope that Fandango in his first match in WWE television is going to be at WrestleMania, so that's fucked up, but it happens. And we see that nobody wants to see Rock and Cena. None of our listeners, anyways. So
I don't even want to see Rock on my fucking TV every Monday night anymore. When he shows up,
when he shows up.
Take that belt. Take that belt. I can't wait to see the new design.
Dude,
they're just going to replace the little insignias on the side.
Two things real quick. Let me dive in. Number one,
really quick.
I was one of the ones praying that they would bring they would finally bring out the real Brahma Bull belt from the Attitude Era, because that damn thing would have been money, and I do mean money money. But no,
I would have bought one.
I'd have bought the damn thing if it was the Brahma Bull belt that unparalleled the Smoking Skull belt. Damn right, I'd have plunked money down to have that sumbitch hanging in my studio down here, because I think that would be a collector's item. Number two, our tag team partner over on Beyond Ringside said 2 matches he wants to see: Punk Taker and Jericho and Dancy Bitch. I mean,
Fandango.
Yeah, Fandumbo.
Well, just real quick, I know we're trying to hit a break, and I just want to hit this last thought before we hit this break. I'm excited about Punk Taker, because we didn't know if Taker was healthy enough to have this match with Punk. He had that match in Texas, that house show, and they wanted to see if he could go. And here we are, we're off to the races. WrestleMania is I don't know, about 9 or 10 days away. 10 days away. I'm excited.
Next week we're going to have a poll. We're going to go ahead and who do you think's going to win, Taker or Punk? So we're going to have that question next week. Beyond Ringside, we're going to see if we can actually set that poll up, because I personally think streak's over. But we're taking our next break of the
Never gonna
evening.
happen.
Well, we'll talk about that next week. We're going to take our next break of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. No porn music, no Valentine.
Cutting up a credit card.
We're scheduled to be joined by So Fine Frankie Valentine coming up on the To Be Determined show right here, the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Ladies and gentlemen, do not change that URL. And if you're cleaning house, you better be cleaning house naked. That's all I'm saying.
Amen.
Right here.
With video games, I always check the rating and content descriptors on the package, but there are times when I'd like more detail about what's in the game. That's why I love these new rating summaries. They provide an in-depth description of a game's content to help me decide if it's okay for my kids to play. Rating summaries are free and available on my smartphone or at home online.
For more information about video game ratings and rating summaries, go to esrb.org.
Ranger Station.
Yeah, hi. I'd like to report a bear sighting in the forest. 1 second, I'm having a smoke. Next thing I know, I'm face to face with Smokey Bear. Wow. And he told me it only takes one spark to start a wildfire.
Did you know 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans?
I had no idea.
That's why Smokey's famous and you're not. If you see someone in danger of starting a wildfire, step in and make a difference. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Dad, how do you throw a curveball? How do you build a fort? How do refrigerators run? How do fish learn how to swim?
Kids ask a lot of questions.
How high can you jump?
But you don't have to know every answer.
How many phone numbers are there?
Because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent.
How do cell phones work?
There are thousands of children in foster care who don't need every question answered.
What's electricity?
They just need you.
What's the moon made of?
For more information on how you can adopt, go to adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Move Time Radio, presented by the Arthritis Foundation, and we're smack dab in the middle of our dance-a-thon to fight arthritis pain. Me, I've been grooving for 10 hours straight, baby, but I'm a boogie machine. See, movement is just one of the ways to help fight osteoarthritis pain. Another is weight loss. You get rid of just 1 pound. That's 4 pounds of pressure off each knee. For more information on managing pain, visit fightarthritispain.org. Then meet me on the dance floor. This message brought to you by the Arthritis Foundation and the Ad Council.
Monsters could be living under your child's bed or in the bathtub. For a child with asthma, it can seem like monsters are everywhere. Because something as innocent as a teddy bear could trigger their next asthma attack. But there are simple ways you can help, like putting stuffed animals in the freezer to kill dust mites and drying bath toys to prevent mold. Learn more at noattacks.org or call 866-NO-ATTACKS, because their next breath is in your hands. Brought to you by the EPA and the Ad Council.
The odds of becoming a signed artist and having 3 #1 albums? 1 in 100 million. The odds of going on to win 6 Grammy Awards? 1 in 1.4 million. The odds of this performer having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 88. I'm Toni Braxton, and I encourage you to learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Autism Speaks. It's time to listen. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Amanda Pete. Like all new parents, my husband and I want what's best for our baby. When it was time for our daughter's immunizations, we wanted the facts. So we carefully researched vaccines. We spoke with doctors and other experts and asked some tough questions. We decided that vaccines were the best thing for our child. I urge you to get the facts. Learn the facts about vaccines so you can make the best healthcare decisions for your family. Thank you.
A message from the American Academy of Pediatrics and VaccinateYourBaby.org.
Remember when your neighbor found us naked in the car, and the time some outdoor action got us kicked out of the park, getting frisky in the dark. I gave your eye a poke. Think the dog is in the bed. Do I smell smoke? You and me, we never, ever, ever give up.
You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Visit bedsider.org to compare all the choices. Brought to you by Bedsider and the Ad Council. Bedsider.org.
You are a waste. A loser. Everyone hates you. Why don't you just stay in your car and keep driving? I'm serious. Drive until you run out of gas, then get out of your car and walk until you find someone who doesn't think you're dumber than bricks. Could take a while, but at least all that walking might burn a couple of calories.
You may not witness bullying like this every day. Your kids do.
They want to help, but they don't know how. Visit stopbullying.gov to learn safe, simple ways your child can help stop bullying. Be more than a bystander at stopbullying.gov. A message from the Ad Council.
Every day I wake up at 5 to give Dad his medicine. Every day I wake up at 5 to give Dad his medicine. At 6 I make his breakfast. Every day I wake up at 5 to give Dad his medicine. At 6 I make his breakfast. At 7 I shower. Every day I wake up
For
at
those caring for a loved one, we hear you. That's why AARP created a community to help us better care for ourselves and the ones we love. Visit aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Citizens of America, this is a message from feedthepig.org. Americans spent more money than they earned in 2005. This is the first negative savings rate in the U.S. since the Great Depression. America, we must start feeding the pig. On the 1st and the 15th, we must pay ourselves before we pay anyone or anything. We must make a budget. Even consider cutting up a credit card. Log on to feedthepig.org today. Find the benefits of saving for every stage of life. Brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
You must be your fairy godmother?
Cinderella's dream comes true because the glass slipper fits.
It fits!
In our world, the right fit can be just as important, especially when it comes to car seats. Always choose a car seat that's the right fit for your child's age and size to make sure your little pumpkin gets there safely every time.
Hop in, dear. Thank you.
For more information, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. This message has been brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Alright, I've gone through all the tracks, just move through the beats. Do your thing.
Alright, everyone, let's hear it for West High's own Brooke Turner, aka DJ Hook!
Scratching at my first school dance takes confidence. So getting into college, I've got what it takes. So do you.
Visit knowhowtogo.org to learn what you should be doing right now to prepare for college. Start taking the steps at knowhowtogo.org. Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation, and the Ad Council.
It takes 12 years to create a graduate. It takes about the same time to create a dropout. And at the end of the day, the difference between a child becoming one or the other could be you. So United Way is asking you to make a pledge. Tutor a child who needs help. Mentor a kid who needs someone on their side. Volunteer to read to children. Because when a child advances, we all advance. Be a reader, tutor or mentor. Give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge now at liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Hey, what's up? Holla at your boy. XOXOXO. You getting these texts? Question mark. Where are you? What are you doing? OMG, you are making me mad. You better text me back. I'm waiting outside your house.
Relentless, aggressive texting is like sending an angry robot to deliver your message. When does the robot become dangerous? Let us know at that'snotcool.com.
That'snotcool.com.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something, and... Oh, wait, hold on. I just got a text.
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. So many comments on my comment. Hey, guys, check out my new video game. Mom, what? Huh? What'd you say?
This weekend, unplug. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Joe Perry and Steven Tyler of Aerosmith for Red. You know, it's okay to rock and roll and party down. Just don't get in that 2,000-pound bullet when you're done and cocked. And please don't drink and drive. I'm the one that jaded you.
A reminder that friends don't let friends drive drunk. A public service message brought to you by the Ad Council, U.S. Department of Transportation, National Association of Broadcasters, and RAD.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are, the To Be Determined show beyond Ringside Radio Network. We're joined by our guest of the evening, So Fine Frankie Valentine. Frankie, how you doing tonight, sir?
Doing good, man. How about y'all?
We are doing fantastic, sir. We have been lighting it up tonight, just a full-range discussion. But we're going to jump right into it with you, sir. You have been in this business almost literally your entire life. So how did it all come about? How did Frankie Valentine get sucked into this great business, this art form of professional wrestling?
Well, unfortunately, during my childhood, I really didn't have a father. I mean, I associate with him. But the man that raised me as a son was Billy Knight, my uncle. And he started independent pro wrestling in 1992. So whatever he done, I wanted to do because he was my role model, my idol, my mentor. So, I mean, if he'd have crushed cans for a living, I would have wanted to crush cans for a living because he did. And I would just go with him when he would start training, practicing. I was watching, and I was like, I could do that. And I was about 10 or 11 at the time, and I just started, hitting the roads with him, setting the rings up, watching the shows. And when I was 13, we did a show for Mike Jackson. There was no referee. So at 13, weighing about 85 pounds, Mike Jackson throws a referee shirt on. And from there on out, man, it just kind of took off. I went to a few different gimmicks, and Doug Summers, the one that polished me up. He's the one that gave me the Valentine name, and I kind of threw the So Fine twist in there and just rode with it. Unfortunately, I started living the So Fine Frankie Valentine, and that kind of hit me in the foot. But to wrap it all up, yeah, Ted Allen, he had a lot to do with it. He had a movement business when I was in my 15, 16, 17, so during summer, I had to hit road with him and travel the whole country, just doing a lot of movement stuff for, moving people in their new homes, stuff like that. And I learned a lot just by riding in the front seat listening to Ted talk.
Now, you said something that kind of sticks out in my mind. You started off putting up the ring. Do you think, Frankie, nowadays in time when nobody wants to put up or take down a ring, do you think that if people had to put up the ring for about a year or so before they ever trained, do you think that there'd be less people or less marks in professional wrestling?
I sure do. I absolutely do. I'm a firm believer in that. I think that, and maybe it's my opinion. Everybody has one. I believe that, setting up the ring and then you start refereeing, you do a ring boy, you take stuff to the back. I mean, I believe that's all part of paying dues. And I think that's, I don't consider myself a great wrestler by no means, but, I'm fair. And I know I'm a small guy, and that's always going to be a downfall. And I went as far as I possibly could, I think, without signing a contract with any company. I mean, I've done everything I wanted to do and achieve in wrestling. But as far as, paying dues, I believe everybody should do that. I really do. And I tell everybody I've ever trained, I've told them that. And a few of them have done it, maybe about 80% of them, but not all of them. I mean, you got these few guys, they'll come, hey, I want to be a wrestler. They'll make a deposit. I'll put them to the ringer. But before we even get in the ring, I make them set the ring up. And, of course, I help just to show, but, I just want to show them what it's all about, both sides of the business.
Of all the people that you've trained, and in fact, let's give them their just due. Who are some of the people that especially the fans in the Southeast, have trained that they might know, sir?
People that I've trained, probably the ones that stick out and try to really go get it would be Eli Daniels. He's a young kid, and I really took him under my wing. I thought a lot of him, and I see a lot of potential in him. He's got a real good build, and and Brad Lynch, he's an older dude, and he's probably the guy that caught on quicker than anyone I've ever seen start training. I mean, I was training with him for about 2 weeks. Ted came in just to, he wanted to hang out and get in the ring and play around with us, and he's like, man, that dude's ready for the ring. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to go ahead and put him in the ring yet. just because I want him to understand, you know, it's more than just getting on eBay, buying wrestling gear, and saying you're a wrestler. I wanted him to go through the stuff that I went through. I mean, be honest with you, man, when I was 17, up till I was 17, I was doing some independent, you know, not so well-known shows, but it was ring time. And my mom had hooked up with Doug Summers, and Doug pulled me out of the ring. He says, give me 2 years. Let me get you built. Let me get you polished. Let me give you psychology. And I'll have you a wrestler. And, you know, like I said, I've been in the business since I was 13. But to actually say and feel like I was a wrestler, I would say from 17, because, I mean, Doug, he drilled my ass. I mean, it was like Sergeant Buddy Lee Parker drilling me. And, I mean, we're killing it in the gym 2 hours a night. And we never set the ring up to train in for a long time. I mean, Doug was hardcore. We were doing it in the living room floor, bumping around, and that's probably why I got a jacked up back now. But, you know, I don't do that to all my trainers. Or trainees, I'm sorry. And, I really think that they should go through a lot more than what I put them through.
Now, tell everybody what it was like having one of the, let's just say, one of the legends of the Southeast, somebody that actually has a cult following, and Pretty Boy Doug Summers. What was it like having him in the household, getting you ready to become a wrestler?
To be honest with you, at first it was very intimidating. He was so kayfabe that he didn't even talk wrestling much around me until he started going to some of these crap old shows trying to bond as a father figure with me. And it worked because, you know, I look like a dad now. And so we never really talked wrestling until he pulled me out of the ring. We had about a 45-minute conversation about, hey, if you want to be a wrestler, give me the chance to make you one. And that's when I understood the difference in what I was doing and what I had became. I mean, you know, anybody can get in there and choreograph a match. And, you know, I know I'm on air and I shouldn't say that, but hell, you know, everybody knows about wrestling now. It is an art, and you do got to be very talented to do it. And, you know, between Doug and Ted, they opened the door for me, and, you know, I give 80% of everything that I do and my mentality of wrestling to Doug Summers.
What was the best nugget, or I guess the best advice that Doug gave you that has just stuck with you your entire career?
The best advice Doug had ever given me, it stuck with me my entire career. Wow. Hang on, I'm sorry, I got the car door open.
Oh, I thought you were about to explode. I thought this was a Super Mario game.
Yeah. Well, on a personal note, don't tell a wrestler or tell a woman, you know, on the, as far as the personal stuff goes, the behind scenes of wrestling. And, because, you know, my life's no secret. That bit me in the tail about 25. And, but, you know, the best advice he gave me was when you're in there, just knock the piss out of someone, you know. You can't make people believe in wrestling, but you can make people believe in yourself. And that stuck with me forever.
Now, we've been talking about family, and we had the local scene Josh Storm on here the week before UIW's redemption. It would be the 13th of March. And he told us that the one person in the entire locker room that he knew had his back was you. But yet,
yeah, I did.
But yet, you guys, as they call it, Family First, he goes in what can only be described as 18 hours worth of redemption at UIW that night on the 16th. That was a long show. That was a very long show. he stabbed you in the back right there in front of everybody with Jake the Snake Roberts and Diamond Dallas Page damn near ringside. What happened there? Did you see this coming? Was there any telltale signs? Because you did almost the exact same thing to him about, 2 years ago?
Yes, I actually did. And during the Nightmare to Remember show, we had a 8-man scramble match, and it was every man for himself. And, something else that Doug told me, when you're in the ring, you're the general, you're in charge. You got to look out for number one. So that's what I was doing, and I guess he took it personally, and, I think he's got a lot of other personal issues that he's dealing with, and, loved him like a brother, and we were all raised together since we were all in diapers, and to be honest with you, I have no clue why he done what he done, but, needless to say, brotherly love and love hurts. I'm going to get mine back.
Now, I have heard this allegedly, that the local scene, Josh Storm, has been spending his time with hookers and blow. I don't know if that's true, but, So, Josh, let's hope Josh keeps his head in the game. When is the next time you can get your hands on him? Because at the next UIW show, you're not even facing him, sir.
Be honest with you, man, I don't know. I've been on the phone, been trying to set this up, been trying to figure out what the hell is going on. I've called. I've actually went over to his house. It wasn't there, so he's probably off with the hookers and snorting his blow. But, to be honest with you, 50% of me was proud of him, and 50% of me was like, what the hell is going on here? And, but, with him going through what he went through, and he's finally doing that, I was slightly proud of what he done. I was just, I hated to be the victim of it, just because it's going to really bring a lot of tension between us and this, as far as training goes, I take that back, I put Brad and Eli over. I put Josh over too, because, I'll say I trained Josh because he was my test dummy from the time I started when he was about 6, so that put me at 12 or 13, and, we practiced our whole life practically, but, I'm not saying I taught him everything he knows, but I didn't teach him everything I know.
No, he also had some help from the So Fine.
Once again, that went sour because of the whole family thing. They would want me to drill Billy with a chair, and I didn't. And I turned around and I drilled the other partner that we had, Doc Hayward, and that's the night that I turned and decided, blood's thicker than water.
Now, speaking of blood, one thing that you're known for are your chops that have just left guys just bleeding. Knox and I were sitting there backstage, and Josh come back, and Josh was just grabbing his chest, and they were putting water and towels on it. He was just bleeding from his chest. You're known for making guys bleed from their chest, and also you're known for bleeding as well. It's very well known that you have a problem with your nose bleeding. When did this start? When did this phenomenon start? Because as we say, it's not a show, and it's not a wrestling event.
Everybody thinks it's fake blood, and to be honest with you, it's been probably about a 10-year thing going on. I don't know what's going on when I'm in the ring. I get popped just right. My nose will pour like a faucet.
Frankie, you and I know this. You were in a match. You and Tex Monroe were tagging against the Merchants of Death, being Murder One and Orion Bishop, and I punched you in the top of the head, and you started bleeding from your nose. It was amazing.
I know, man. You're not the piss out of me. Damn.
Whatever.
Once again, when you hit somebody, you hit somebody.
Oh, you shut up. I learned that from you and Johnny Slaughter, by the way.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But really quick, before we let you go, we're going to go around the table really quick. Fascinating Lane, questions, comments, or concerns for So Fine Frankie Valentine?
Yeah, actually, real quick, I take umbrage with a comment that you made about being nobody special. I've had the honor and privilege of working with you a number of times, and based on my personal interactions with you, this sport and this business could really use more people like you both inside and outside of the ring. Determined, conscientious, thoughtful, somebody who's respectful to the sport of pro wrestling. So that's my point on that one. Hang on a second. Oh, got to come back over to this one. Now, Rick, it almost got me as far as the comment regarding the chops. Now, you do have one of the biggest reputations for having some of the hardest and loudest chops in the sport. Have you ever had a situation where you've heard the sound of one of your chops and just went, damn?
Yeah, actually, a couple times. I did a match last Friday night, and what it is, we went to the fundraiser for a school up in Cary, Georgia, and I wrestled the football coach there. And, this guy, he does the show once a year, and he is built like a daggone bodybuilder. And I tried to talk to him and said, hey, man, the business could use someone like you. When I got out of the ring with him, I actually found somebody that was just as hard or probably harder than I do. But I say he was actually pouring blood from the fist. And, once again, that's Joe Summers' mentality. You're going to hit somebody, you hit somebody. You tap somebody, you tap someone. I had somebody, they stopped me one time, and I just looked at them, what the hell was that? And I turned them around, and I literally tried to take their chest in just to show them what a chop is. And hey, I appreciate the compliment. Like I said, I don't want to be considered to be one of those guys that have an ego, and I don't want to think that I'm anybody special or overrated or anything like that. I just want to get out there and do my job, and I just want people to remember me when I leave the ring. And hope I leave my mark.
Tasha, questions, comments, or concerns for Frankie Valentine?
Well, it's a question that I bitch about all the time. Frankie, I can tell you have about as much respect as I do for the business, which I absolutely love. How do you feel about professional wrestling becoming like the fast food industry?
Becoming what?
The fast food.
Like the fast food industry.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about more and more people just coming through, yada, 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 yada. I don't know. I get frustrated with it sometimes. I show up at a lot of shows. There's some that I sit around and I look at, and I'm like, what the hell am I even doing? And, I know that's partially an ego, but, I'll spend hours and hours and hours in gyms at a time, thousands of hours in the ring training, just move after move after move, because I'm a perfectionist when it comes to that. I sacrificed everything in my life just for this business, and then I just see people just show up and, they'll put a pair of shorts on, got them old soccer knee pads. They'll have Walmart combat boots on, and they're out there wrestling, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, if you're not gonna sink any money into you, why in the heck is anyone gonna sink any money into you and take a chance on you? This business, once again, paying dues and doing your part just to, get yourself a better position in the business.
Corey, questions, comments, or concerns for Frankie Valentine? And of course, Corey's gone, so that's cool. Matt Denton, questions, comments, or concerns?
I'm here. I just forgot to take the damn thing off the mute real quick. Frankie's one of the nicest guys I've ever met in the business. But like I said earlier, talked about respect. He respects this business, and more guys in this business need to be more like him, except bleeding all over the fucking place.
Yeah. I get a little bit of blood here and there, don't I?
Oh, yeah. Matt Denton, questions, comments, or concerns?
All right, hypothetically, You get told that you have 6 months left to wrestle. What would you like to accomplish in said 6 months?
And then, say again, I'm sorry.
If, hypothetically, you get told that you can never wrestle again, what regrets would you have? Different question, I know, but still.
What regrets would I have?
What? Never mind.
Yes, what regrets would you have in wrestling? If you could change anything, what would it be?
Ooh. And we're live, right? You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say, it wouldn't be nothing as far as wrestling goes, but what I did behind the scenes in wrestling because, I used to be known for going out and doing my thing and just, not really caring about what and who I heard at the time. But then again, like I said, I gave up. I gave up marriage. I went bankrupt. I got rid of all loose baggage that I thought was holding me back from going to the next step. But I'm not saying I regret it because, this brought me to bigger and better things personally. And, so I guess I wouldn't say I have any regrets, just to be honest with you.
Frankie, what shows you
That's out the Skype convo.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Actually, that's a lie. I'm not feeling bad.
You're not feeling guilty a damn bit.
No.
Magic City Motormouth, Fast Eddie Lane. You hear him?
Still hanging in there and having fun in the process. Oh, by the way, real quick, update on the poll question. Cena Rock still the match that everybody is least interested in seeing. Also, Taker Punk has taken the lead. That is the match that everybody wants to see at WrestleMania this year so far. Awesome BM, Dave 805, Jim Diva, K, Pruitt, Mad Madge, everybody, Steph, everybody over in the chat room. Glad to see you hanging tough. Once again, chat room's open at beyondringside.com.
Am I still in the chat room?
It seems that Taker and Punk is a runaway with this, but
I think it is.
Without any further ado, we're going to bring the man on that this Saturday in Pell City. We'll be wrestling for the GCW Heavyweight Championship against Micah Taylor, the man that the last time we saw him was setting his nose legit backstage with a pencil. The one, the only, Mad Dog Dan Sawyer. Dan, how you feeling, man, and how is that nose?
The nose is great, and I tell you what I knows is I'm going to beat the hell out of Micah Taylor this Saturday night. Finally get a chance at the GCW title. You know, I won the I Quit match last year. The stipulation was I picked who he would go against. I chose O'Hagan. They battled it out several months. Well, now, you know, this has become personal. We wrestled in Tryon the other night. He wouldn't put the belt on the line, but thanks to the commissioner, Eddie, he has made things happen. He says he's got a surprise for all the fans.
Yes, I do.
You know, it's been hyped up on Beyond Ringside. It's been talked about on GCW Radio. That Georgia wrestling thing, you know, is not to be determined. Is where you find out the information. By God, that's what's going on tonight. So just lay. I'm sorry, lay one on us. Lay one on us, Kamish. Put us out there.
And here we go.
Breaking news on the To Be Determined show. Ladies and gentlemen, this coming Saturday night in Pell City, Alabama, under the banner of Global Championship Wrestling. Championship on the line as Micah Taylor defending against Mad Dog Dan Sawyer. That match has been changed. This will be a last man standing match. This Saturday night, championship on the line. You got it. Breaking snooze right here on the To Be Determined show.
Wait, wouldn't that make Dan... Hold on a minute. Wouldn't that make Dan the winner by default because Mike is not a man?
I like the way you think, sir. I like the way you think. And I owe him one because, you know, I've had my nose broke 16 times, so 17, you know, I lost count, you know, back when I first started this stuff. And somebody said, stop leading with your head. But, you know, I'm going to do a little headhunting this Saturday night in Pell City, Alabama, and looking forward to wrestling Micah Taylor. So what you're saying is that we can use tables, chairs, whatever, no DQ, last man standing. Is that correct? I mean, no DQ is still standing, right?
Yeah.
Last man standing by any means necessary. I tell you,
Micah to leave his Viagra at home, okay? Because I
got nothing to do with that. I got nothing to do with that. Tracy has threatened to kill me. She has threatened to smack a coconut over my head if I ever mention the V word and Micah in the same sentence again.
That's right.
But you're speaking of Tracy really quick now. I know that there has been some breaking news on GCW Radio with that as well. I mean, the Taylors are in effect. You have yourself in a last man standing, which is the equivalent of no disqualifications match. Somebody is going to win. Whoever doesn't answer the 10 count is going to lose this and not going to be the champion. I mean, so much on the line. And now with the breaking news, you have a women's division, and your champion is Tracy Taylor. Is this correct?
That is correct.
Now, how do you feel about Tracy being just handed the title?
Well,
the commissioner, because Eddie, of course, Eddie, you will get yours on that, but Dan, how do you feel about this?
She won some matches to make it happen, but I know there's a lot of strong competition out there with Nina Monet and Pandora, and Octavia's getting the first strike at the match, and you know we'll see what happens. I know that she better pack the lunch, you know. And I'm not taking anything away from the Taylors. They are a fantastic wrestling family, husband and wife, still making it, you know. But I'm planning on taking some gold off Micah Taylor. You know, I hope Octavia's been eating the Wheaties and, you know, drinking the Ensure or whatever she does in her training, because, you know, Kitty's got claws over there. You know, we've seen some really good stuff out of the ladies division and global championship wrestling, but, you know, Tasha, she's a hell of a fighter, and I'm sure we'll see her come down and get a shot at this belt too. I know Taylor Hendricks and Heidi Lovelace out of the TNA knockout division. Taylor and Heidi's out of Ohio Valley. She's listed for coming down, and Ribby Sky it's supposed to come down in April or May. I can't remember. I don't have my book in front of me. Like Frankie Valentine, by God, I don't have my book in front of me.
Bring out the book.
Bring out the book, you know? We should say, hey, brother, there's a thing called an iPad and a telephone, smartphone. You know, it works really good. Of course, I can't figure mine out sometimes. But I had a beautiful lady tell me the other day my phone was gross and I needed a new one. It's a freaking Android. But guess what she does for a living? Sells phones.
Sells phones, yeah.
Yeah, but you know, you can't fit an iPad in a fanny pack, I'm just saying. So.
Well, you know, brother, I hadn't worn one of those since '93. But Rob Adonis and Frankie were both rocking one the other night, I think.
How is Rob doing?
Rob Adonis, Rob is doing well, man. He's going to be around, I think, in May, and he's going to make an appearance and stuff. But he said he's not going to waste the boots, dude. He said he just can't do it. He's just real bad back injury, and I told him I sympathize with him. But, you know, we're not spring chickens, because he informed me that I was a year older than him, so I really appreciated that, you know. But you know, you gotta rib each other every chance you get. So that's this business. Well, hey, let's talk about another championship match. You know, since I'm on your show, Nemesis. I know you're managing to be the first title defense for the Unlucky Charms, Damon Christopher and Mr. Knox, and it should be a real good match, high definition, which you guys defeated in the tournament. Which, did you guys handpick these dudes, or is this like, you know, I mean, did y'all draw them out of a hat? I mean, the Mulkeys weren't available, probably, so...
Nobody gets that joke. Oh, my God.
Yeah, they do.
The frickin' Mulkeys. You know, they're still taking bookings, though. That's what's funny. When I did FanFest last year, I got a damn email. Thought it was a rib, so I had to follow up on it. And
I've got
it really
them on
was the damn Mulkeys. And, you know, I'm like, you know what? I remember that one Saturday that they won the match. I can't remember who they beat, but it was on TBS one Saturday morning. I was like, oh my God, the Mulkeys won. But you know, high definition, you know, they've been tag team champions before. I'm just having some fun with you guys on a Wednesday night.
Well, you know, Jeremy Foster and Cody have a weird tandem to him. Cody's a strong guy, wrestles a strong style. Not as strong style as Chris Knox or Damon Christopher. No. Jeremy Foster is a phenomenal wrestler. If he could just be pulled back, you know, reined in a little bit, and get it through his head that less is more, I mean, he's ready for a fast track of being I don't want to say superstar, because, you know, that makes him like he's going straight to WWE, but somebody that's very well known, especially in the Southeast. The whole thing about this is last time they tried to use their speed against the size of Damon Christopher and Chris Knox. We all know that Unlucky Charms use their strength as just. I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. If Foster can somehow use his speed a little bit more, because they were that close to actually beating us, they may pull this out. But I think personally, and we all know this, 16 years in the business, 16 years veteran in Damon Christopher, that speaks volumes right there. It's all about outsmarting. It's not necessarily about out wrestling. It's all about the W and having the titles. Now, being GCW champions and this being a championship title match just adds a little bit more to it. But you guys know, ask Swinger, damn near. Corey, you saw what Chris Knox did to Swinger the 13th or the 16th UIW at Redemption. He beat the crap out of Swinger. Swinger wanted to just get on the plane instantly. As soon as the match started off, he hit him so hard, Dan. I swear to you, I saw in Swinger's eyes that he wished that he was on that plane already, that jet plane already to Orlando. Because
so I owe you money. Did he say that? I just want to know.
Yes.
Did he say that?
No, now I know we're breaking kayfabe, but I really don't care. He crawled over to me and Swinger looked me dead in my eyes and said, "Wicked, your brick shit house is killing me." That's what he calls Knox. When he saw Knox at Peach State, he looked Knox up and down. He's like, "Wicked, you brought in a brick shit house." And that's kudos from Swinger. I love Swinger. Swinger's one of the guys I respect most in this business. And it was a weird match. With Chris, Swinger being an old school guy, really not wanting to do that much. And Knox, you guys know, Dan, Knox.
Yeah, man, I got to touch. Jesus. I mean, I got to tell you, man. I've been wrestling 23 years. It was the first time I'd been on hundreds of cards with Damon Christopher when he was doing the stomp and dancing around and making the kids smile and the ladies, perk up. But I got to wrestle the guy for the first time ever, and that was at the JYD tournament in the finals. And I got to wrestle with Knox and even got to lay a hand on you for a second. But, it wasn't personal. It was all business. We was all trying to win those belts. And, bad thing is, hell, I felt like I was wrestling 4 guys there, because the underground sure don't like me. And you guys are just trying to win the belts. And, it was business. And we walked away, At least you got your guys wasn't trying to crush my nose. I mean, they would have if they had to, but, thanks for the Hawaiian punch in there. His little L'Oreal streak. He had to get a little heat on the nose, and hey, that's the business. And hell, you're doing something right if you're effing up the booker. I mean, geez. That way you make sure you get booked again for a receipt. I mean, for all you listeners, you got fun ones back there for all you little kids listening. What a receipt is, ask your mom. It could be a different kind of receipt. Woo! All right, Paulie's son of a bitch. I thought Matt didn't ran him off. He said, I got fat outside the chat room or Skype or whatever. I was like, did he beat up Paulie again? Jesus, just internet-wise. Yeah. Boys, just word for the wise. Everyone watch out for the texting to your female fans. They'll tell you about that in a place in Georgia. But do not do that. That's the comment of the night from this neck of the world over in Global Championship Wrestling. If you don't know, read about it on the internet. It's not a nice thing. But,
I wanted to ask you about the powerbomb you put on Kuntz in the triple threat tag team tournament. You powerbombed Kuntz so hard that he literally shit his pants.
Yeah, I thought it was a shark. I heard something, and then I smelled something. Kuntz is, I call him my Blasian friend, but, he's African-American, but then he's Asian. So I stole that from friggin' Smoking Aces. So, before someone says, oh, that's not original. Kiss my ass, I'm saying it tonight on To Be Determined. Kuntz, he took the power bomb very well, but, I delivered it with a little bit of velocity. I like to put a little power on that. Put a little pepper on it. So
put a little stank on it, more like.
Yeah,
really.
Stank,
hell yeah.
Put some stank on it.
Mm-hmm.
Get her done.
It did stink. That's really the reason.
Besides your match, Mad Dog, what do you look forward to? What match are you looking forward to most this Saturday in Pell City?
Well, there's a really good match that has been kind of not even talked about that much. It's a 6-man featuring Showtime Shane Fox, Scotty Blaze, and Vernon or Out of Control Jake Cole taking on Kuntz, Xander Stone, and Spiral. I mean, here we are cooking up this Global Championship Wrestling versus the Underground. They say they train harder than us. They say they're better than us. And, it's just kind of a collision deal here. And I don't know if this thing's going to come to a head or not, but we're focusing on that, and we're going to see, you know, Fox and Blaze were an amazing team in the JYD tournament, and Cole has just got a lot of desire and heart and brute strength. You know, people want to refer to him as like Ryback. You know, I mean, the thing is, the guy is got youth and strength on his hands, and he moves. I mean, that's the thing. He's got he's very nimble in the ring. That's the thing. You know, Ryan Reeves, Ryback, is a little bit older now, getting his push. You know, he was in the developmentals forever, and it just shows if you work hard and you don't give up, because you know the system tries to beat you down. You know, you hear about this every day, and you know, hell, they don't want us to run. They want us. They want us to go out of business, and they want less guys to keep showing up to shows, because that way it ensures. You know, there's always jealousy in the friggin' locker rooms, and I know you guys probably get into that BS on a regular basis, but you know, the less guys that are on a roster, the more chance you get for your own push. You know, so just don't try to go into business for yourself. That's the thing, you know, and I'm talking about in your match. If those people really in the ear for trying to get an education on wrestling, I know you were listening to Frankie, and Tasha always is, you know, saying things, and she's right on point, because you know, she's not had it. You know, women's wrestling is damn tough. Okay, so if you ask me for another match, I'm watching this ladies' match, because I think the intensity is going to be turned up majorly with that belt on the line. You know, and I think Tracy's going to be trying to protect that. You know, it's like a mother hen protecting the eggs. You know, I think she's really going to try to protect her own, and I'm sure Mike is bringing the A game too. But you know, I've been training for this one. I've been doing the jits and combat submission wrestling, and you know, just trying to prepare myself, because the guy can go. You know, that's one thing. You know, they said that he's not a man, but you know, he was a Marine, and he is a pretty tough son of a gun, and he does take a shot pretty well to the face and fires back. So. And I'm not taking him lightly, let's just put him that way, because, you know, somebody will be starting some BS on Facebook saying that I was calling him out and said he wasn't nothing, because that's not true. Because he's won the belt more times than anybody else. Every time you think he's out, he comes back in. But, you know, I'm excited. You know, the whole card's good, 8 matches. You know, it's not like some of these towns that these guys do these little spot shows and run 4 matches, and they're all screw job finishes and all that kind of stuff, and promise stars that are not there, and promise that it's Legend's last matches, and you know, the Legend just leaves after he gets his trophy. And yes, I'm talking about Bull Bob Armstrong. Somebody said it was his last damn match. He goes, I guarantee my last damn match ain't gonna be in Jasper, Alabama. So bless his heart for loving us so much. So yeah, it's a shot, but so what? You know. If I didn't throw a shot every now and then, I wouldn't be Mad Dog. So kiss my ass if you don't like me. You know, nobody cares about you. You don't make $1.
Now, Eddie, Booker T actually had a question for Cena that we want to play, and ask the same question. It's kind of a weird question to Dan Sawyer. Eddie, do you have that ready, sir?
Why are you gonna beat The Rock at WrestleMania?
We want to know,
Yes,
why
Dan.
are you going to beat? Why are you going
Yes,
to beat?
Dan. Why are you
The
going to
Rock?
beat? Why do you want to beat The Rock at WrestleMania, Dan?
Why are you going to beat Micah this Saturday? Why?
Hulk Hogan, I'm coming after you. Oh, sorry. This is the wrong thing. Wrong Booker T moment. Man, I'm just tired of this guy being the figurehead of this company. You know, I have to see him at other places. You know. We were supposed to be up for Dr. Tom in Tennessee this Friday, and they moved the show. I've got to be with him in Monroe, Louisiana on May the 11th. Everywhere I go, he's like a thorn in my side with an electric current, and I'm just tired of having to see him and see him parade around with Global Championship Wrestling's belt. You know, not because I've had it before, but I just think that I can get in there. I know I can. You know, I'm going to have a lot of things to watch out for with the underground, because every time you think that one of them's gone, here comes another one, like Kuntz from the last show, coming from the front door, or the back door, whatever door he came from. So, that's a good way to get tased. The big police officer there was ready to go, and somebody had called Pell City Police, so it was like, wow. You guys are going to end up getting yourself hurt. But no, I'm ready to, I still got it, man. I guess I'm proving it to myself, and I got a lot of fans supporting me, and I got some new supporters out there, and I really appreciate them. And I'm just going to do my best Saturday night in Pell City, Alabama, and it's the best ticket in town in Alabama. It's $10, and it's always a fantastic crowd in Pell City. You know that, but it's not because Mad Dog's on the marquee. It's not because Global Championship's on there. It's because the Unlucky Charms, High Def, O'Hagan, the Underground, Trevor Eon, Joey Lightning, Steve Styles, the whole locker room. There's new people added all the time. Like this weekend, Clyde Braddock's taking on Jonathan Gresham. Gresham, known for his stint in 01 in Japan and IWGP. I mean, he's a guy that lives in Atlanta, but he spent more of the last 2 years in Japan wrestling, and he's like, hey, man, I'm going to be in town if you got a spot on that card. Of course, really didn't have one, but I saw him in Canton. I think you guys met him in Canton, Nemesis. I think,
I've known Gresham my entire career. I've known him since day one I got in this business. One of the first matches I ever called, play-by-play and color commentary on myself, was one of his matches. Phenomenal athlete, and also WWA 4. Very well known, Peach State Wrestling Alliance. I mean, he's done a ton of stuff in the Southeast, as well as some Dragons Gate USA stuff. So,
well, no one has seen him in Alabama until this Saturday, so come out and see these new stars, trying to get a name for themselves in Global Championship Wrestling, but, come watch some of these guys that's been around a few days, like Dan Christopher and myself, and, of course, Micah Taylor and the ladies match. It's just a star-studded card, and our managers are trained managers. They're not just dudes walking to the ring wearing sweatpants or some suit they got at damn Party City. These guys, you got more hair products and money spent on your outfit than some people that make it a week. So, you take pride in it. JJ Boom Boom Tanner does. Legal Howard C. Cross. But, there has never been a point where all three of you guys were on the same show. So, actually, by God, it was. The last night at JYD, it was like crossing the friggin' streams in Ghostbusters. It's like...
That's the first time.
Mm-hmm. It's like, we need a clean towel in here, Tommy boy. It's going to get wild.
Do me a favor.
Commissioner, if you will.
You got it.
Run down the card really quick, please.
Let's run it down. Ladies and gentlemen, this Saturday night, Pell City, Alabama at the Pell City Civic Center under the banner of Global Championship Wrestling. Bell time, 7:30 p.m. Tickets are only $10 each. I figured we'd all get that in unison. The best of 7 series continues as the new sensation Steven Styles takes on Joey Lightning. One-on-one competition. The All-American Chris Jacobs, the man who proudly represents the U.S. military, takes on the one known as the Silent Giant. Why do those words ring a bell? The Equalizer. In a Team GCW versus Team Underground match. This is one that has been overlooked by a lot of people, but don't ever overlook this. O'Hagan taking on Aiden Solo, the one-man sleeper cell. This could get very dangerous very quickly. We know O'Hagan. We know Aiden Solo. Will O'Hagan be a touch overconfident? And will Aiden Solo be able to take advantage? You heard the breaking news about John Gresham taking on Clyde Braddock this weekend. Brand new faces in Global Championship Wrestling. 6-man tag team match. Team GCW versus the Underground as Spiral. Kuntz and Xander Stone take on Burnin' Jake Cole, or Out of Control Jake Cole. Showtime Shane Fox and Scotty Don't Need a Nickname Blaze. I kind of like that gimmick. I'm just going to stick with it. The GCW Tag Team Championships will be on the line as the Unlucky Charms, Damon Christopher and Chris Knox, under the tutelage of their spiritual advisor, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, defend against previous GCW Tag Team Champions, High Definition, Cody O'Connor and Jeremy Foster. GCW Women's Championship will be on the line as the Island Girl representing the Underground defends against Octavia. And in the main event, you heard the breaking news here tonight on the To Be Determined show. The GCW Global Championship Wrestling Championship will be on the line as Micah Taylor defends against our special guest here on the To Be Determined show, Mad Dog Dan Sawyer, in a last man standing match. Be sure to keep your eyes open on GCWPro.com as well as their Facebook, Twitter, and social media sites for any late breaking information, but you've got all the scoops right here on TBD for this Saturday night in Pell City. By the way, before I cut, let me do this. Mad Dog, Wick, we've all three seen this. For everybody who has been watching Global Championship Wrestling over the last, I'd say, 15, 16 months, since the advent of the Underground. The Underground is the truest simile of the statement, one step forward, one step back, but not back for long. Every time people think the Underground's done, they come back stronger, they come back better, and they come back well armed. Mad Dog, going into this match this coming Saturday night in Pell City, Alabama against Micah Taylor. Last man standing, no disqualification, virtually everything is legal. What won't you do to defeat Micah and get that belt away from the Underground?
I got a little new submission that I've been working on, and it's one of the fans. His name's Trevor. We're going to call it the Trevor Lever. And I'm going to bring out a little jiu-jitsu submission style on Mr. Taylor. And I know he can hold his own on the mat, but, he was a wrestler. And I like to consider Brazilian jiu-jitsu a little kryptonite to that wrestling. So I don't know if I'm bringing the green or the red kryptonite, but I know I just got some good nerd points there because we all are. But we're going to take it down, and we're going to see who is the last man standing. And when the smoke clears, I think it's going to be the Mad Dog Dan Sawyer just because of the support of the fans I got this time. I'm not relying just on their support, but they've inspired me to do things. I've had some ladies say some things to me as over the last month that have made me realize that I still got something there. It's not to prove to the fans, it's to prove to myself. Coming back from the back surgery, blood clots, BS, all this things going on wrong, and Dr. Tom snapping my arm back last October, and just seeing the things, thinking about Brad Armstrong losing his life and everything, it took a notch in my head, and I'm going to tell you, it messed me up. And that's the first time I've been messed up in a while since Sherry passed, two people close to me. So I'm just going to enjoy this and live the dream, and that's what I'm looking to do, and that's why I teach my school and try to pass on the right way to do stuff. And I do think a lot about this business, not for myself. I try to tell those guys all the time, I'm not about getting myself over. I'm about getting you guys over. And when you succeed, I succeed. And I really feel that way. And, every time that there's a packed house, it makes me feel good because I know that people still love this business, man. I mean, it's not just a joke. Some people say it is and they don't respect what we do, but they couldn't even do it for 2 seconds, When I got people doing Hindu squats on Sunday, and they're like, "Dadgum, that's tough." Especially like the green guys that come in, and they're like thinking this is going to be a bunch of, we're just going to stomp our foot and roll around and just have a damn good time. And then, you got ladies getting their eyes blacked in training, and she has to go to her shoot job and say, "Hey, look, I swear to God, I'm not involved with somebody that's abusive. I busted my head in the ring." They're like, "Oh, I thought that was a trampoline." So many misconceptions about this business.
Come bounce on that damn thing. Gotchas.
Oh yeah. That's what it's all about.
And kudos to all those that are going out and training and busting their ass, trying to better themselves and trying to be something in this business.
Do me a favor. Let me take care of one thing real quick before, because I know we're over. We're in sudden death, and that's cool with me.
Yes, sir.
I've been criticized over the last couple of weeks, ever since this match was finally signed. I'm not showing partiality. I'm not showing favoritism toward Mad Dog Dan Sawyer in this. You heard Dan make references, glossed references, to some of the things that he's persevered over the last stretch of time. And remember, when he won the I Quit match, he deferred that title shot to somebody else. Well, Sawyer's put together some good victories lately. Granted, he had a small setback in the JYD Memorial. But you know something? Folks, plain and simple, and this is a shoot, kids, he's earned it. He deserves it. And that's why, granted, Micah has wanted to add stipulation after stipulation after stipulation, and I figured, guess what? I'm going to trump them all. Well, I want to be able to do this, and I want to do, but he can't do this. Guess what? It's last man standing. Both of you can do anything you want to. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. This Saturday night, Pell City. Gold's on the line, but it runs a hell of a lot deeper than that. Wick?
Dan, how can everyone get in touch with you, sir, and what does GCW have upcoming?
GCW Media at yahoo.com is the best way. I was in the chosen circle with the number. You know, there are still seats available, second and third row for Saturday's show. As far as coming up after Pell City, we got Friday, April the 5th, Lucas Fork, Alabama High School, and then Saturday, April the 6th in Palmerdale, Alabama. We got the Alabama State Fair on Friday night, April the 26th at the Oak Mountain Amphitheater. And then we'll be back in Pell City on April the 27th. Now, there are several other dates throughout the month that have not been confirmed. We still got 4 school shows to do before the school year's out. So, returning back over to Tarrant, Alabama on Friday, May the 10th. So, a lot of dates there, but the best thing to do is go to gcwpro.com, check it out, and we'll keep you posted as things pop up, and of course the social media with Facebook and Twitter, and a social guru, if you will, Ask Eddie Mike. You know, and always listen to Be Determined, Beyond Ringside, and Global Championship Wrestling Radio. That's the best way to do it.
Tasha, how can everyone get in touch with you, and what do you have upcoming, ma'am?
Tasha's gone. She signed off.
Tasha's gone. Well, Tasha's gone. Well, there you go. Matt.
Hey, actually, Wick, don't forget, you can find Tasha Simone on Twitter at Tasha FN Simone, and you can also find her over on Facebook. Just look her up, Tasha Simone.
And Matt, how can everyone buy yours and Rob Van Dam's comics, sir? And what do you have upcoming, whether it be your podcast or your website, sir?
Right, podcast, we're doing a special edition tomorrow night because we're both going to be away on Sunday, Easter and all that. We're going to be filling up on chocolate, so that'll be 9 p.m. GMT, whatever it is.